the 7 laws that guarantee financial success. Okay? And then, why from scrolls to stocks? Because many of you know that I'm very fascinated with King Solomon, because this was the wisest king who ever lived, and he was not only wise, he was extraordinarily wealthy. In fact, he was recorded to be the wealthiest man who ever lived. Some people might argue that Mansa Musa was also very wealthy, but Solomon's wealth is well documented, both in history and then in the Old Testament writings. He was very wealthy. And then what we know about Solomon's wealth is that it is underpinned by wisdom. You remember that Solomon had a dream. God appeared to him and asked him to ask the most important thing. The most important thing. To ask him for one thing. And you know what Solomon asked for? That's not what many of us will ask for today, in this generation. Because everybody is looking for cash, money. But you see, Solomon's wisdom did not start with cash. Okay, as usual, it'd be wonderful if somebody can actually type that in the comment section. Solomon's wealth did not start with cash. Somebody write it down there. I'm trying to adjust the slides. Okay? Please write it down. Solomon's wealth did not start with cash. It did not start with money. This is fundamental to what we're talking about today. And I really want everyone to pick it up. Solomon's wealth did not begin with money. It did not begin with cash. And that is very, very important, for us today. Because, we have all these sentiments going around that, it takes money to make money. Have you heard that before? It sounds nice. It sounds really, really nice. It sounds very credible. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. It's not true. Solomon's wealth did not start with money. It did not start with cash. What would that do for you? What would that do for you? What would this information do for you? It's not just information, it's actually a revelation. What does it do for you? When you realize that Solomon's wealth did not start with money. Because lots of us complain about money. We don't have capital to do this. We don't have capital to start our business. We don't have capital to do that. But Solomon's wealth did not start with capital. What did it start with? It started with wisdom. Everybody type wisdom. Type wisdom. Type wisdom in the comment section. Type wisdom in the comment section. Everyone type wisdom. Okay? And the topic tonight, for those of you just joining us, the topic tonight is from scrolls to stocks. Remember, we've been talking about the stock market, and then I've been emphasizing the importance of launching yourself into the financial markets in 2025, because that's really where it is happening. That's where everything is happening. Even I myself am polishing my books on forex trading. I traded forex in 2007, 2008, and abandoned it. But I'm going back there. It's a $5 to $7 trillion market. Like every single day, at least $5-6 trillion exchange hands in the world. And I have actually told you before that if you want to make money, you need to connect to the opportunity, to level 10 opportunity, to where the money is. Because if you are not involved in an industry that's got the money, you might be a level 10 skill. You might be very, very skilled, very highly qualified. But if you are working on a low level opportunity, you are going to exert so much labor, so much effort. And then at the end of it, it becomes like the parable of the late MKO Abiola. For those of you non-Nigerians, the late MKO Abiola was a Nigerian politician. And he had wit and wisdom. So Abiola said that Babangida's transition program, now Babangida was a military dictator of the time who did not want to leave office. Okay, so eventually was mysteriously kicked out of office. He was a military dictator, and he had this bogus, massive transition program that literally swallowed billions of dollars. But while he was spending that money, he really did not intend to leave office. He actually had wanted to be the life president of Nigeria. So Abiola said that Babangida's transition program was an elephant that gave birth to a mouse. Imagine it. Elephant that gave birth to a mouse. That is what happens when you are investing in a low-level opportunity, like a level 1 opportunity, level 2 opportunity. And then you might be highly qualified, you're putting in so much effort, you're putting in so much in it, but year after year, it's like the elephant that gave birth to a mouse. Does anybody feel like it? You know, in your financial life, you've been investing, you've been working hard, you've been earning, you know, big salary, but at the end of the year, it's like an elephant that gave birth to a mouse. So we need to change that. We need to change that, and that's what we're going to do tonight. So there are 2 reasons that we are doing this tonight. Many of you are coming to the comment section and saying things like, oh, Obo, you keep talking about the stock market, the stock market, the stock market. But the Nigerian stock market is very bad. Somebody told me he lost money. My father invested and bought a particular stock 20 years ago. He has not recovered. Some of you probably read those comments. He has not recovered from investing. I invested in such and such a stock, bank stock in Nigeria, and I didn't get anything. I invested in Japan, you know, companies I don't even know exist. I invested in Japan. I lost all the money, you know, but now I invest in the American stocks, you know, and I'm making a lot of money. Give me a break. And then the saddest thing is that many of you take advice from poor people. Many of you take advice from poor people, and you don't even sit down to think about it. All those people telling you their experiences. Oh, I lost money. I lost money. Don't put your money in the stock market. I lost money. Did you check them? Did you check the people who are giving you advice? If I want to learn how to fly an airplane, am I going to take instruction from a cab driver? That's what you're doing. You want to fly a plane. You want to learn how to fly a plane. And then you are going to a cab driver to instruct you. And so that cab driver is using his cab. He's using his cab, okay, to tell you, all right, this is how you know when you're running out of fuel. And then he's showing you his cab dash light. Is he going to work for you in the airplane when you sit in the cockpit? So many of you want to be wealthy, and you are listening to poor people. The only time you should listen to a poor person is not to do what they are doing, not to be like them. Yeah, because if a poor person tells me something, I'll do the opposite if I want to be rich. Because that is level of knowledge, that is level of awareness that made him poor. So I wouldn't want him to affect me with his level of awareness. So people are coming there and they're talking all kinds of things about the stock market. I'm like, who are these people? Where are they coming from? What do they know? So I can imagine, you know, what their level of awareness is. Because for anyone in the world, including the Warren Buffett I'm talking about today, check out the people who are wealthy, people who really have wealth that are traceable. People who are involved in the economy, involved in manufacturing, involved in the financial sector, involved in things in your country, in your own country. They are all playing in the capital market, because the capital market is always a level 10 opportunity. It's always a level 10 opportunity. And I'm encouraging you, always invest in level 10 opportunities. That's why even with a very little effort, in a level 10 opportunity, you make very, very wide gains. Okay? So that's why I want to talk about this law, drawn from the lives of these two multi-trillionaires that I've admired for a long time. Okay, so let's go right into it. And each time you hear me talk about it, if I mention a particular law, write it, type it in the comment section, because it's going to help you to remember, and then it's also going to help the people who are watching it later or who are joining us later to catch up with the conversation. So, number one law of investing. Now, it doesn't matter if you're investing in the stock market, or in forex market, or in real estate, or whatever it is, or you're starting a business. Number one law of investing is money grows when you put it to work. Everybody type it in the comment section. Type it. I want you to own it. That is law number one. Money grows when you put it to work. All right. So we are doing this investment 101. That's really where to begin. Because if you don't understand it, it's going to be difficult. Because people keep on asking me every day, what should I invest in? What stock should we buy? I have saved 200,000 naira. I have saved $5,000. What should I do with it? You need to know the basics. Because if you don't know these 7 laws I'm going to tell you about, you will lose your money. You will lose your money, no matter what you put it into. Whether you put it in the stock market, those people who say they lost money in the Nigerian stock market, they will still have lost that money. Do you know why? Because they have not obeyed these laws, these 7 laws I'm giving you. It does not matter what you put your money into. If you do not obey these 7 laws, you will lose it. And law number 1 is for you to know that money grows when you put it to work. When you put it to work. So you cannot grow your wealth when you are not putting the money to work. That's why I'm telling you, especially those of you who work regular jobs, you're 9 to 5. It's very dry here. We're still having Hamatan here, so I'm drinking lots of water today. So that's what I'm telling you, especially those of you 9 to 5, that your strategy this year should be, how do I go from working for money to making my money work for me? Type that, type it in the comment section. How do I go from working for money to making my money work for me? That's number 1. Okay, you know, that is the first law of investing. Money grows when you put it to work. Okay, so don't let your money sit idle. Don't just let it sit idle in the bank. I don't have money. I don't have money sitting idle in the bank. You will never catch me with 1 million naira, or even 500,000, or 200,000 even. You won't catch it sitting. So most times when you look at my bank account, you're seeing things like 20 something. Oh, that's the phone I'm using. I would have just shown you my bank balance. I think it's 28,000. So often my bank balance is always like 28,000, 50 something. So especially after I've paid my utility for the month, I have bought, yesterday I just bought electricity that will last for several months. You know, there's food in the house. So why do I keep money sitting idle? Why in the world would I keep 1 million naira sitting idle in the bank? Don't do it. Don't do it. Because this law says that money grows when you put it to work. If you put it under your pillow, or you just put it there in a savings account, inflation and depreciation would eat it up, okay? So don't let your money sit idle. Invest it in things that make it grow. What are the things that make money grow? Examples include businesses. Okay, include businesses. It includes stocks. That's what we're talking about, stocks, investing in stocks. It includes real estate. It includes online businesses. So, put your money into something that makes it grow. So Solomon said, a seed unplanted bears no fruit. A talent buried profits not the owner. And then Warren Buffett says it in his own words. He said, money is like a snowball. It grows when rolled through the right fields. Okay. So how do you implement this law? Okay, so I know you're joining from different countries. I've seen people joining from America, people joining from the Caribbean as usual, people joining from different countries in Africa. But let me use this example for some of you in Nigeria. So you can start with low risk options, low risk investments like money market funds. Money market funds. For some of you who are also asking this question, you can go for money market funds. For example, Stanbic IBC, and then there's also ARM. All right, so that can help you to grow your money steadily. Don't just leave it. Then you look at long-term investment. For those of you who have been talking about investing in the US, okay, so you can buy the index, the S&P 500, which the Warren Buffett of this world also invest in. They have historically yielded annualized returns of 8 to 10%, which is good in dollars. Okay, so that is law number 1. All right, so let me read a few of your comments, your aha moments, and possibly your questions, and then we go to law number 2. Okay, money grows, yes, when you put it to work. Jean, thank you for capturing that. Emmanuel Obovoka says, okay, I like what you're doing. I'm watching from St. Louis, Missouri, USA. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thanks for joining us. Tim Godwin, yes, good evening. Yeah, okay, Kingsley Agodo, thanks for capturing it. Yes, money grows when you put it into investment, when you put it to work. Yes, and then Chinyere Okafor, my regular. I'm beginning to notice some of you. Yeah, exactly. How do I grow from working for money to making my money work for me? Fantastic. Exactly. Chika Wuna also captured that. That's exactly what I would like you to keep at the forefront. Malik also puts it very well. How do I transition from working for money? I like the way you put it, Malik. How do I transition from working for money to money working for me? Very, very good. And please, for those of you who have children, it doesn't matter if they are like 3 years, because one of the things I did for myself as I was learning these things and becoming a bit more financially intelligent than I was in my earlier life, I was transmitting it directly to my children. Okay, so I remember in 2003, after I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, where this all started for me, because I was working in Chevron at the time, earning fat salary. And then every time I traveled to work offshore in escravos, there was what Nigerians call ESTA code, you know. Anytime I traveled to the United States to work, in Chevron office in San Ramon, California, or in Chevron office in Houston. So I used to stay at the Marriott at the Galleria in those days. Anytime I traveled and came back, there was a per diem, of course in dollars. So I had access to a lot of cash working in Chevron, but I wasn't financially free. I wasn't financially free. I was struggling financially. as unbelievable as it sounded, I had access to money, both in Naira and in dollars. I belong to the Chevron Credit Union, 6001 Bollinger Canyon Street. Then, I had that access, but I was struggling financially. It was so bad that my wife had to wake me up early one morning and ask me, she said, "Sweetheart, do you know that if we run into emergency now, that we don't have 1,000 Naira saved anywhere?" 1,000 Naira at the time was like, I think the Naira was like $20, 20 Naira to $1, something like that. So that must have been like $50 for 1,000 Naira, something like that. We didn't have it saved anywhere with all the money I was earning in Naira and dollars. Why? Because I did not have financial intelligence. I did not have financial intelligence. That was why when we started, I told you people that Solomon's wealth did not start with cash. Solomon's wealth did not start with money. What did it start with? It started with wisdom. It started with wisdom. The same thing with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's wealth. Warren Buffett's wealth. Chinyere said that she worked in Chevron Credit Union. Yep. Okay, in Lekki. Yeah, I was part of the Chevron Credit Union, the one in the United States. So we had ways we used to save money in dollars, you know. When I traveled into the US, you know, also put some money there and all that. Anyway, so Solomon's wealth and Warren Buffett's did not start with money. It started with financial intelligence. This is why many of you have money, but you're suffering. You're struggling. But majority of you already have enough income to make you financially free if you knew what to do with your income. But many of you think that your income, your salary or your income from your business at the end of the month is for spending. No! 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 That is not what your income is for. It's not for spending. Your capital is not giving you for spending. Because if you spend everything you earn, you can never be wealthy. And some people say, "Oh, I don't earn enough money. By the time I pay food, pay transport, you know, pay rent, it's all gone." No, it's not true. It's not true. I can't buy that and I can't excuse you for that. So stop cannibalizing your capital. Your capital is your insurance for the future. Your capital is the seed for wealth. So if you are consuming your capital every month, how do you expect to grow wealthy? So if you believe you do not earn enough money, enough to save and invest, then this is what you should do. Number one, create minimum 2 streams of income. How many streams of income? Create 2 streams of income. One stream will take care of all your expenses, your living expenses, because you need money every day. You need money every day. You have to buy food, you have to transport yourself, you have to move around, you have to do things. You need money every day. So you need to pay rent, you need to pay for your bills, you need to pay your children's school fees, pay for their university education and things like that. So you need money. So the thing is, people never ask themselves, how will I raise the money? So you need money, one stream of income to take care of your living expenses. Then you need to create another stream of income specifically for investing. Anything that comes from that stream of income goes straight into your investment account. So don't say you don't earn enough money. That's not an excuse. Then earn enough. The second thing you can do, cut down your expenses. Demodulate your lifestyle. Come down a little bit. Come down a little bit. Because the thing is that many of us are not ready to suffer, to inconvenience ourselves. That's why you finish your salary. You're not ready to inconvenience yourself for a start. And then you want to start a business, you must start in a very big place. But people like Apple, Microsoft, they all started in garage. But many of us don't want to start anything small. Then you're finishing university, you're finishing college. The first thing you're renting, maybe you come by a little money. First thing, you're renting a 3-bedroom apartment. What? You're single, you're renting 3-bedroom apartment. What? What stops you from sharing? What stops you from doing a bedroom or a single room or whatever, studio, self-contained like we call it in this part of the world? Until the money comes, then you can, do that. But then you continue to cannibalize your capital. You cannibalize your salary. You cannibalize your income. And then year after year, you are in the same spot. Going to mosque to pray, going to church, running from one prophet or pastor or the other to prophesy to you, and it is not working. And you can't sit down to say, this thing, there's something wrong. I need to change certain things. That's what we're talking about tonight. Okay? All right, so that is law number 1. Okay, so let's go to law number 2. Okay, so everybody type the law number 2. So the law number 2, investment law number 2, that is guaranteed to make you wealthy, is don't follow the crowd blindly. Type in the comment section. Don't follow the crowd blindly. Okay, so just because everyone is doing it doesn't mean it's smart. Think for yourself. Do your research. I can easily start telling you, like somebody just asking me here, recommend business. Why do you always have to wait for someone to recommend business? Recommend this, recommend that, for you. Do your research. So a lot of us are not very confident in our own abilities to find out things. And then a lot of us are over, what is it? I don't know, is it to call it a fear or something? We are overprotective. We don't want to risk anything or risk exposure. We don't even want to risk loss. But if you're going to make money, you are going to lose. You are going to lose. Some people lose like 7 out of 10 times. But those 3 times that they gain, that they make it, my goodness, those 3 times that they make it, they cover like 10 times, 100 times the 7 times that they lost. So do your research. Start getting confident in your own skin. Start getting confident in researching opportunities. So don't go around asking people, recommend business. And then sometimes what people do, once people see somebody is doing fish farming and it's working, everybody goes to fish farming. I started palm oil. I started selling palm oil, and then this month we'll start producing palm oil, traditional method of processing. People who are seeing my moves and all that, everybody now also wants to do palm oil. Many years ago, I said I wanted to package brown rice. As soon as a friend of mine had, he grabbed his, hey, brown rice, everybody, brown rice. There was a time, brown rice. So don't follow the crowd blindly, okay? Think for yourself. So it's okay. I might recommend to you, say, okay, like right now, buy this stock. If you're starting, you can start with First Bank stock, you can start with GT Bank, or you can start with, I can give you recommendations. But you still need to go there. You still need to go there and make your own research, because the information is available. It's publicly available. On the Nigerian Stock Exchange website, you have all the companies, their performances, every detail you need to know about them, the PE ratios. And then you make your own decision, okay? So Solomon said, the simple follow the crowd, but the wise consider their steps. Okay, so don't follow the crowd, because that's what's going on. That's how a lot of people, there are all kinds of scams that people have lost so much money here in Nigeria for this same reason. It's probably the same in Ghana and some other African countries. Somebody just comes and announces, oh, green, 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 green. And then they say, oh, there's this new investment in town. Go to this website. You will pay 30,000 naira. When you pay 30,000, they will give you a slot. And then every week, they will pay you 45,000. This person did it, and he's riding a very big vehicle. You know, Nigerians like car. First thing they purchase. Once small money enters their head. Oh, look at the kind of car he's riding. He bought Lexus. 250 million. Look at this person. He also did it. You know what I'm talking about? Before you know it, everybody, he's going, show me. Hey, tell me, and I see it even in my comment section. People are coming. Okay, just go to this website. Oh, open this account. Put in 250,000. And then you are making, don't do that. Use your head. Research. Okay? Do research. He said that the wise consider their steps. Don't just get into every shiny object in town. That's how people lose money. Okay? And Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. That's a very powerful law in the stock market and also in the forex market. Because he himself, if you look at his own, he does what is known as value investing. But many times, when people are exiting the market, that's when Warren Buffett is looking at very, very sharp, valuable companies. And he buys them at incredible discount. People are panicking and selling off. And then maybe the stock has gone from $100 to $15. The guy moves in and packs the whole thing. Because the company is valuable. So he says, when others are fearful, be fearful. He said, be fearful when others are greedy in the market. And then when they are greedy, be fearful. Okay? So blindly following trends often leads to disaster. Solomon warns against groupthink. Warren Buffett champions contrarian investing. Buy value when others panic. Okay? Nigerians, you remember all the Ponzi schemes like MMM. All these hyped investments, and there are so many of them online today. Do you guys see it? If you see it, type in the comment section. I see it. As I'm talking to you, people are being scammed. I think the latest one is real estate. Hyped real estate, land banking. They hype it. Hey, take your plot now. Take your plot now. This place is 2 million now. In another few months, government will do this thing. A road will pass here, and you can sell it. You just buy it and keep it. In 5 years, you will sell it for 50 million. How many of you have been saying that? Solomon says, be careful, be wise about all those hyped investments. Because on social media right now, I think there was a time it was forex. Now, I think they have moved to real estate. Almost everybody is a real estate multi-billionaire. And they have all kinds of real estate packages all over the place. Okay? Okay, so law number 3. And before we go to law number 3, okay, everyone, please share this. Take a moment, click on that arrow that says share and share it right now. It's important that our people, that everyone in your community has access to this information. Okay, like I keep telling you, you're not paying for this. This is something people pay me thousands of dollars, to do for them. But I'm happy to do it, for you every day. And so the least you can do, share it. Let others know. And also, hit the like button, the love button, the wow button. So everyone, please take 15 seconds, I beg your pardon, and do it. And then we'll go to law number 3. Take 15 seconds. Please share, love, and then in the caption, as usual, you tell the people, you really need to listen to this. Okay, you really need to listen to this. Okay, thank you, Chika Obona, for sharing. Yes, so if you shared, you can come to the comment section and let me know that you have shared it. All right, share. Let the algorithm expose it to many people. People need this education. We take it for granted that people know. I didn't know. I went through school, went through the university, a student, collected awards. I was in Federal Government College, Okigwe, so if there's anybody who was there by any chance, and then you were there in my time, 79 to 84, I collected awards, best student in the class, I had awards during my final year, the best student in literature in English, and then the best student in statistics. I had all those. Then in my university, top student. Yet the school never taught me throughout all those years. Nobody, no lecturer, the school system never told me about perhaps the most important subject in my life, which is financial. How was I going to make a living? How was I going to succeed financially? So after acquiring all the academic knowledge and all that, I came out, and then I was a total illiterate in the financial system. And yet, that should be a subject that we need to start teaching our children from nursery school. But again, conspiracy has it that the educational system was designed exactly like that. It wasn't designed to raise investors or entrepreneurs or innovators. It was designed to raise workers. It was designed, and people talked about, the role that Rockefeller played in designing the system, because the guy said he didn't want a nation of thinkers. He wanted to raise workers, employees for the industrial metaplex or something. Okay, so this is why we need to share this, and also put our family, for those of us married, let your children have this information. That was the point I was making, that after I started learning about these things, I started exposing my children to it at a very early age. I started exposing them, because I knew that the school would never do it. So when I went to the US, after reading Kiyosaki's book, and then attending, I started attending events, financial freedom events and things like that. I will buy my children the cash flow game, and we'll play together as a family and things like that, to just build that understanding, because the school will not do it for your children. Okay? All right. Thank you for sharing. So let's go to law number 3. Law number 3, everyone. So the law number 3 states that wealth takes time. Be patient. Please, everyone, type it. Wealth takes time. Be patient. I can't emphasize this enough. Wealth takes time. Be patient. That is law number 3. Everything is instant in this generation. It is very true that you have technology, and I agree that technology has leverage. Technology gives leverage. I agree. I've also, one of the famous quotes attributed to me, okay, that technology and the financial markets have democratized financial freedom. Type it in the comment section, somebody, so others can, pick it. Technology and the financial markets have democratized financial freedom. So what that means that anybody, anywhere, with an internet connection and a phone can become a millionaire. Yet, wealth takes time. Because it's true you have the internet connection, it's true you have the financial markets. You can start swing trading, for instance. Okay, you want to trade forex, you want to trade US stocks, like some of you want to do. So you open that account with MetaTrader, with TradingView, and then with a licensed broker. You are still going to need time, because it's not going to happen overnight. And then if you want to learn to trade forex, you start with a demo account, and you can trade demo account for weeks, for months. And then when you actually start, there are going to be seasons of losses. There's going to be a learning curve until you really, really master it. Then the profits will start coming. So wealth takes time. So you got to be patient. Most people who are successful trading forex, if you listen, not forex influencers, people who just talk about it and then they sell forex courses and forex. I'm talking about people who are actually making money in forex. Many times you don't even know them. They're not the ones you see on social media. There are people quietly making, like, every single day. I know somebody who makes at least $1,000 every day in the forex. He's not even on social media. Doesn't talk about. He's on social media. He's on Instagram, but he doesn't talk about it. But he makes that money. But guess how long he's done that? Close to 10 years. Wealth takes time. So you cannot start your forex account today and then expect to, by end of this month, I will start trading $10,000. That's how you burn your fingers, you blow your account, and then you blow your courage. You get discouraged and you say, okay, I will never do this again. So many people who jumped into forex or into stock market and then they jumped out again after they got their fingers burnt, it's because they didn't realize this law, the law of patience. Okay, so building wealth is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So consistent small investments over time ultimately leads to big results. That's why I like the stock market. Because the good thing for me is that if I have 500 naira, I can buy something. I don't have to wait until I have 500 million. If I have 500, I can buy something in the stock market today. One of my favorite stories, I've told my students in the Financial Fitness Challenge. I was going out one day I just felt, this craving, for grilled fish. So there's this particular joint where they make very good grilled fish, but it's quite expensive in that place. So in today's money, one grilled fish would be like 20,000 naira in today's money for that place. So I jumped into my car. I said, oh, I wanted to eat grilled fish. Midway, I started asking myself, because I have trained myself to be financially intelligent and also conscious of my spending, of my budgeting and all that. It's a discipline you acquire over time. So midway, I started asking myself, wait a minute. Oh boy, are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. Because there's food in the house and I've just eaten. There was, in fact, dried fish in the house if I wanted to eat fish. There was also beef and all that, stew, soup, all that in the house. I'm like, so why exactly? You're not hungry, number one. There's food in the house. You have eaten. Why are you driving out to go there to buy grilled fish, which I knew I couldn't finish as well, because the previous one I had bought, I couldn't finish it, so I had to look for, someone to give it to a family to give it to. So I said, okay, no. I turned back. I asked myself, what was GT Bank's stock share price, stock price that particular day? I checked it up. It was around 18 naira. That time, I said, okay, you know what? This money, I'm going to use it, buy shares in GT Bank, and then in 3 years' time, I could eat as many grilled fish as possible, as I want. And you see, and that's a classical lesson in how we cannibalize capital. So I actually came back with that money. I bought GT shares at 18 naira. It's not up to 3 years. GT shares is almost 60 naira. It's almost 60 as we speak, 50 something as we speak. Now, that money, that 20,000 naira that I put, just a little over a year ago, just like 2 years ago, that 20,000 naira that I bought at 18 naira then, that is 60,000 naira today. And of course, it has beat the hell out of inflation. So today, if I want to eat fish, how many can I eat today? I can eat one and still have two to spare. But, and not only that, I've already gotten dividends like 3 times on that money since that time. But the point is, if I had cannibalized that 20,000 naira that day on fish that I didn't need, that would only spend in a few hours in my stomach and then it goes into the toilet. That's capital cannibalization. I would have cannibalized that capital. And today I'll be complaining that I'm poor. But I would have forgotten that I made that impulsive decision that many of us make every day. We just buy things that we don't need. It's like something pushes us, taps us on the shoulder, commands us, and then we go out there and cannibalize our capital. So you see how patience and delayed gratification has turned 20,000 naira to almost let's say 60 something thousand. I mean, including the dividends I've gotten on it in 2 years. That's the point we're making. It's a law. So don't let anybody come to tell you all this get rich quick schemes. Don't fall for it. I fell for it several times in my life. The get rich quick schemes burnt my fingers because someone was always coming at that time, and it's like I had the kind of personality, impulsive personality at that time that whatever they marketed, I jumped into it. That was how, ladies and gentlemen, I lost as I was leaving Shell. That it took me years to recover. That's how I lost equivalent of $100,000 in Nospetco and then Wealth Zone. These are the opportunities. So when people come with all these funny opportunities, I'm just looking at you guys because we've been there. But the thing is that when an older person who has also experienced this is telling you, your blood is still hot. You don't believe some of us. You go, you get your finger burnt, and then something you should have learned by just listening to me, it takes you another 5 years, 7 years. You set yourself back. Instead of just hearing what I'm telling you, those get-rich-quick schemes do not work. When you are desperate, they look like it's a very excellent, it's a very, very good thing. This person did it, and all that. No. You don't build. I have had to start all over. What set me back was trying to get rich quick. Can you imagine what if as I was leaving Shell in 2008, can you imagine what $100,000 invested even if I just put it in treasury bills or something like that, some mutual fund or bought some indexes. Can you imagine what it would be doing for me today? Maybe God made it that way because I probably would have been too rich somewhere, relaxing somewhere in Monaco to be sharing this with you. So maybe it's to your advantage that I had that experience because it was a very expensive education. So law number 3, wealth takes time. Be patient. How can you? So Solomon says, he who gathers little by little will increase. So don't wait for the big millions. Don't wait until you have the big millions before you invest in the stock market. Start with 5,000 naira. Okay? And then as you're doing it, you're also learning. Because a lot of people who got their hands burnt, they put everything they had in stocks that they didn't understand. Because you see, you don't just invest in the stock market and then go to sleep. You monitor your investment. You monitor your investment because there's something we call fundamental analysis, and then there's also something we call technical analysis in investing. If you put your money in a particular company, you invest in a particular company, and you are not monitoring it, and you are not checking the fundamentals of that company, you are not listening to the news that might affect that company goes down, and so your money. Is it the problem of the market? No, it's not the problem of the market. It's your problem because you just put money there and you're not monitoring it. Because if you were monitoring it, there would have been times to jump out and put that money into something. My Nigerian breweries performed so badly. I lost millions. It's like I bought Nigerian breweries at almost 50 naira. And then within something like 2 months, the thing came down. It was horrible. It just came down to, it remained at like 37 for a long time. I had not read the news about the problems that Nigerian breweries were having at the time. I did not know. So some people who were in the know just used me. I offloaded my whatever. You see, because I used to invest in Nigerian breweries. So when I was coming back to the market, food, I just said, oh, Nigerian breweries. And then again, I did not understand at the time. That I can bid. I can bid for the price. I did not understand. That's one of the secrets I've learned about the stock market that's amazing to me. So a stock might be going for 100 naira. That's people are buying 100 naira. But then when I now got direct market access to the market, direct to the market, I had information about what people, about what people are offering their stocks. I had information about what the market was bidding for a particular stock. I didn't know. That information was there. But before I had direct market access, I didn't know that I could bid. So there have been times that the stock was selling at 200 and I bought at 195. That was fantastic. So I didn't know. I just saw the stock price of, so that's using my limit, okay? Using what we call limit. I wasn't using it. So Nigerian breweries was almost 50. I just bought at the market. I didn't know that I could have actually limited my bid. So I lost so much money. Now, I found out that there were other stocks that were performing. So Nigerian breweries will still do well. They are recovering. But it's going to take time. But because I was monitoring my investment, I decided, listen, take your loss. Take your losses. So I sold it off at that 37 naira. I just completely offloaded it and I put it into another rising stock. And then in that stock, I have made the money. I made the money within 1 week of that stock. I told some of you about it, UACN. Within 1 week, I made the money I lost in Nigerian breweries because I just took it from Nigerian breweries, put everything in UACN. So I'm just saying that it takes patience, it takes learning. So that if you have a bad experience, don't go around and say, oh, the stock market is not very, I put money, I lost it. No, 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 no. It just shows that your level of consciousness is very low. And that you don't know what. So when you say things that make comments like that, people who know just, they don't even respond to you. They just know that you're very, very ignorant about what you're saying. Because if there is any vehicle creating multi-millionaires on a weekly basis in this place, it is the Nigerian stock market. But if you don't know what you're doing, you won't be able to take advantage of that. Okay, so that's law number 3. So, Buffett says, the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Did you get that? Warren Buffett said that the stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. So if you want to be the one receiving the money, you've got to be the patient one. Okay, I think, should we take one more or just continue tomorrow? So there are 7 laws. We have done 3 today. So let me just recap the 3 that we have done. So the first law is money grows when you put it to work. Money doesn't grow when you put it in the bank. It doesn't. The bank just uses your money to make money. They will give you a ridiculous interest. I don't even know how much it is because it's a long time I looked at interest. I don't even know what it is. I'm not even sure it's up to 1% or 2% or 3% or something like that. Meanwhile, inflation is 30-something%. And then if you also go to borrow their money, they take the money from you for nothing. Then if you go to, they lend you that same money for 30-something%. Nigerians will say, no, be juju be that, but that's how the banks make their money. So I typically don't leave money. I don't leave money in the bank. Once money comes in, it goes straight to my investment account with my stockbroker, from where I now give them instructions on what to do. And then I also put some of it in my farming. Like right now, we want to start producing palm oil the traditional way. So I put money into buying the equipment, into, of course, operations, sourcing the raw materials and things like that, and then paying the people who work for me. All right, so money grows when you put it to work. That's law number 1. You cannot become wealthy when you don't put your money to work. And then you also don't become wealthy by working for money. Nobody becomes wealthy working for money. Okay, so you make your money work for you. Law number 2, do not follow the crowd blindly. Okay, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's smart. think for yourself, do your own research. Stop taking advice from poor people. Stop taking advice from poor people. All these people who come to argue on their comments on Facebook, check them out first. You know, I do that quick. You know, when somebody comes and counters what I'm saying, you know what, I quickly go to the person's page, and I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, when I look at it, these are, forgive me, you know, just, I don't know, you know, little boys, gutter boys. You look at them, look at the posts, the people who are coming in the comment section to challenge what I'm sharing with the people. I quickly just do it. Click on their profile. And so you look at them. So, and it's like, why are you taking advice from poor people? Why are you taking advice from random strangers? You know, you look at their profile, they are totally empty. They tell you that they are forex millionaires. You look at their face, just look at their profile, their Facebook page. Nothing. You would even expect them to be talking about and to be educating people about that thing they're talking about. Absolutely nothing. And I'm like, I just let them go. I just let it pass. Okay, so law number 2, don't follow the crowd blindly. Think for yourself, do your own research. Even what I say, okay? When I tell you, like the things I've shared with you tonight, go back and check. Do your own research so that you can own it. The reason is, when you take responsibility for your finances, if I invest in something and then it does well, I will congratulate myself and I'll be very happy. If I invest in something and it does not do well, I will also hold myself responsible. I'm not going to come to you and say, oh, okay, it's Ayomide, it's bright, you know, who told me to do this? And that's why, you know, I don't give investment advice. I tell you, put your money in this, because there are too many unknowns. There are too many unknowns, okay? So, law number 3, wealth takes time. Be patient, okay? Building wealth is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Consistent small investment over time lead to big results. Compounding is your friend. So, invest a little at a time and grow doing it. Don't want to be rich overnight. It doesn't work like that. It's gonna get you into trouble. Okay. So, as we round off tonight, as usual, every one of you, go to the comment section now and tell me, what was your aha moment today? Everyone. Okay, and then I will read them out. And then I will tell you about tomorrow. I will also tell you about the financial fitness challenge. You know, somehow the information has not come out. From tomorrow, you should be able to see the information. But basically, we're doing the financial fitness challenge is coming on the 18th to 21st of February. The participation fee is 120,000 naira, which is, if you're paying in dollars, that's $120. It is a 4-day, very, very strong income acceleration program that will help you do your financial makeover and then come up with a 90-day plan at the end of it, a 90 specific day plan to double, to triple, to 10x your income. Okay, during that time we'll talk about setting up everyday money, because ladies and gentlemen, in 2025 you should earn money every day. There's no reason why anybody, all of you here now, should not earn money every single day. And then there is a way to set it up. There are components of an everyday money system. The first one is that you've got an audience, a target audience, who has a problem that you can solve. The second part of everyday money challenge, everyday money system, is that you have an offer, something that these people need that will solve their problem that they can't say no to. The third part of everyday money setup is marketing. And then the final part of it is traffic. You know, if you have it, you make money every day, and you should make money in at least 2 currencies every single day, including today. It's small. It's small. I make money every day. I make money in naira and I make money in dollar every single day. Even if it is $1. So some days I've done $2, some days I've done $50. Some days I've done 40, some days I've done $5, but it must come every day because there's a lot of power in everyday money. So we'll deal with that during the Financial Fitness Challenge. We'll also talk about businesses. How do you scale and grow your business, especially in the light of the economic and political situation in the world today. So, but we are running, so the participation fee for the Financial Fitness Challenge is 120,000 Naira. But we have early bird, which only lasts for the next, maybe not up to 2 weeks, early bird of 100,000 Naira. If you want to change your story, financial story in 2025, join the Financial Fitness Challenge unfailingly. Many of you have been coming to me, mentor me. I do not have the bandwidth to mentor you, and I do not have to mentor you one-on-one. And then if you must book a session one-on-one with me, it starts from $300 a session of 75 minutes. But this one, you're going to have me for this while, and then it's an opportunity to interact with you in a more one-on-one fashion than what we do every night. Okay, so your aha moments. Keep your aha moments coming. Keep your aha moments coming, everybody. I'm going to read it. Yes, Abdullahi, thank you very much. Yes, limit buy order. That's correct. Yes, thank you. That's what I didn't know. Can you imagine? After all, since all this years I've been investing, again, part of it was we didn't have the direct market access at the time. In those days, you go into the stockbroker's office and then just fill the form. They demand something form. They execute for you. But now, you can access the market directly. So, limit buy order. Thank you so much. Okay. Amalan Sofo, wonderful. Amala, good to have you here. Amala Onwuzilibo, fantastic. Amala, are you in the UK? It's been a while. Okay, so Taba says, don't take advice from poor people and never follow the crowd blindly. Fantastic. That's your aha moment. Obed says, I will not take advice from poor people again. Okay, very good for you. Okoro Chika says, think for yourself. Okay, very good. That's your aha moment. Olani says that with little money, I can buy share, even with 1,000 Naira. Of course. Of course. You can buy even with 100 Naira. You can buy, because these are the things I have done. I'm telling you. These are the things I have done. So if I have there was the other day I had 700 Naira. I bought things. There's a lot you can buy with 700. 700 Naira will get you about 12 shares of GT Bank. And then because of the way wealth compounds, in another 5 years, those 12 shares that you bought for 700 Naira would have been a lot. Okay. Afi Sever says, is the program paid? Yes. It's paid for. Yeah, I just said so. Awolowo Temidaya says, to be mindful of capital cannibalism. All right. Okay. Okay, Zia. That's my love. It's my brother. Okay, Zia says, I have made a capital decision not to cannibalize my income anymore. Consistent small investment. Very good. Very good. My beloved brother. Okafor says, I work for money currently in a company. I'm at the verge of creating 2 more streams of income. Very good. Okay. Etim Godwin says, my aha moment, don't follow the crowd blindly and don't take advice from the poor. Very good. Olani says I should have 2 streams of income, one for meeting daily needs and the other one for investment. Fantastic. Okay. William says, do proper research before commitment to any financial obligations. Very good. Okay, let me take a few more. Chika says, be fearful when people are greedy and be greedy when people are fearful. Okay. And then don't take advice from the poor. Very good. Afi is asking, how long is the challenge, please? Okay. Once you pay, what you need to do, so send me a DM for asking for the payment details. So once you pay, the early bird now is 100,000 Naira. You are going to be added to my group, to my community, to my paid community. And then you will start having access, to bonus materials. For instance, if you haven't bought my book on the stock market, once you join, you will have it. It's a bonus, which means that as you're joining, you automatically have 10,000 naira bonus, because that book is 10,000 naira. You will have it there. You can start asking questions. You will also be provided with a financial planning worksheet for 2025. So if you pay tomorrow, you are joining tomorrow, and then that conversation starts. But the main challenge is 18th to 21st. So what happens is that on the 18th to 21st, we will all meet by Zoom. So usually we have people from different parts of the world joining. We will meet by Zoom, and then we have a coaching session, okay, a plenary session. That's where we can take your financial situations case by case. I offer you feedback and teach you. And that's where I can give you some more private recommendations than the one that you get from me in public. Okay, Pastor Ferdinand Ndolo says his aha moment is that wealth takes time, so I need to be patient. Very good. Abdullahi says, my aha moment is don't buy any stock at the current market price until you're very sure what you're doing. Instead, buy them at limit market order below the current market price. Fantastic. Fantastic. And I have a like for that, Abdullahi. Okay. Evaristus, how do you access the Nigerian stock market exchange, please? Okay. So first thing you want to do is to open an account with a licensed, capital letters, licensed stockbroker. Open an account with a licensed stockbroker, and then ask that stockbroker to give you direct market access. It's called DMA. With DMA, you can, whether you're in Johannesburg or you're in America, wherever you are, you can access the market. You don't even need to talk to the stockbroker. Okay, Yusufu says, my aha moment, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Very good. Okay, let me take 2 more. Samuel says, little by little makes difference. Malik says, my aha moment is fear when everyone is greedy, and be greedy when everyone is afraid. Very good. Very good. Afi says, how do I DM you, please? How do we do that? Yeah, there is a button or something that will allow you to DM me, or just go to my profile. I don't know, just figure it out. Just send me by messenger. Okay, the other thing, let me put my WhatsApp right there on the comment section right now. Let me put my WhatsApp. I'm not even sure how to do that right now. Okay, this is not allowing me. All right. Okay. Yeah, just DM me. You know, send me a message by messenger. Facebook allows, you can tell you how to do that, and then if for everyone else, and then you will get the payment information, and then once your payment is confirmed, you will join the group, and then you can start interacting with me. All right. So I want to thank you all for joining me in today's session, which was from Scrolls, Solomon Scrolls, to Warren Buffett's stocks, the 7 laws that guarantee financial success. Tomorrow, same time, we will continue with the remaining 4 laws. I love you all, and I pray that this will be your best year ever. And whatever happens, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you exactly same time tomorrow. Don't miss it.